How's it going, everyone? My name is Aeon and welcome to the first ever episode of Creator Beatdown. Today we are going to be taking on the #1 creator, Viprin. Alright everyone, so what this series is all about is that I'm going to be taking 3 levels from a creator, anywhere from 5 stars to medium demon, and I'm going to be analyzing and kind of judging the gameplay of it to see how he can improve, how he or she can improve the gameplay for a more fun experience for us players. The reason why I'm doing this is because whenever you see a series about level showcases and creator showcases, you always see creators criticizing and giving tips on how to decorate better. However, you don't see very often players criticizing the gameplay to make the game a more fun experience for everyone. People in the recent times of the community have been complaining about bad gameplay, annoying transitions, bugs, and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to take the top creators and a lot of rising creators, analyze their most recent levels, and give my opinion and tips on how to improve the gameplay for an overall better experience for us players. So in the first episode, we are going to be tackling Viprin, the #1 creator. If you go onto his profile, you will see that his most recent levels are Digital Descent, 9 Circles X, Subsonic, Iridescent, Hypersonic, and so on and so forth. These are levels that are generally too hard for the normal community, so I will not be taking on any of these levels. I could, but I will not be doing so. So instead we are going back in time for Master of the World, which was his first 2.1 level, I believe. And then we're going back to Recollections and Baby Y, which are his 2 last 2.0 levels. This is simply because the majority of players do not play Extreme and Insane Demons, so I want to be taking on the easier levels of the creator so that everyone can relate, and so overall easier levels that everyone plays can become better. How this will work is that I will show the gameplay, a clean footage of every single level that I'm going to be talking about, then I'm going to go over each point of what they do well and what they should be doing better, and tell them how they should make it better, so that they easily can change some stuff up and make it overall better for everyone. Let's get right into it with Viprin. We're going to be starting off with Baby Y, then move on to Recollections, and then Master of the World, from oldest to newest. I'll see you guys when you've seen all the replays for the judging. Alright, so first off, we're going to be taking on Baby Y. Now, the thing about this level is that it's very fun, it's not very fast, it goes very smoothly, everything works properly. There's just a couple things I want to nitpick on, and the first thing is the green orb in the very beginning of the level. You don't see this green orb when it pops onto screen, so you need a very fast reaction time to actually get it on the first try, unless you click without thinking. Also, in the beginning, there's a little bit of a bug where if you hit the orbs a tiny bit late, you can die to hitting a wall. This can happen to a lot of newer players because when they do play the game, they have a tendency to hit the orbs as soon as you possibly can. I know I did when I was new to the game. Other than that, the entire beginning is very, very fun. The only thing I want to talk about that is major in this level is that the transition into the duel is very fast and you need good reaction times to it. I died there myself trying to learn it, and I ended up going into practice mode just to learn it because it was so far into the level, it came so fast as me that I did not know what to do, and because it is an asymmetrical duel, it did pop up way faster than I first thought it would come. Towards the end, it suddenly picks up a lot of speed, and it's a lot faster inputs required and overall much harder than the rest of the level, which I found kinda annoying myself. It's the first 80% of the level all goes very clean, very smooth, nothing is harder, nothing is easier than the rest. Then you suddenly come to the last 80% and there's a very fast duel, concluded by a very fast part in general, which you have to click a lot more. Not very buggy. So overall, Baby Y, in my opinion, is a great level. Okay, so over to Recollections. This level starts with very many quick timings in the level and can make newer players very quickly annoyed. The slower gameplay to begin with is smart for easier levels. However, there are so many timings in this beginning that it can quickly become quite frustrating, as all these timings are late, meaning you can't really hit them as soon as you spot them. You have to wait a little bit before having your inputs be done. For the invisible block maze, it's quite easy to sight read for a more experienced player like myself. I had not a lot of problems with it. However, it can be very frustrating for newer players to learn, as it kind of seems like you can go a lot more places than you really can. And when you're done with the invisible block maze for the cube, you jump and you hit an invisible portal, which makes for a very unpredictable transition. The first transition at the drop is kinda unforgiving. You have a little bit of time to correct yourself as the ship, however it's not very difficult for someone who's played the game for quite a long time, but for newer players this can get a little bit annoying, so have a little bit more breathing time for newer players to be like, oh shit, we're the ship, let's correct ourselves. The end of the level difficulty drops quite drastically because of the higher speeds. There's a lot more forgiving gameplay, you can hit orbs as early as you can, so on and so forth. Me personally, I fluked the level from 27 to 100, and for me, makes it seem like the level is very easily sight readable, and I personally very much like that. I think levels that you can sight read, even though the gameplay is fast, are made very, very well. However, the first 27%-ish of the level are kind of frustrating, so I would recommend not having so many timings and rather have it more forgiving. Because if Viprin would have done that, the level would have been, in my opinion, almost perfect, as it's overall a very fun level to play. Alright, so over to Master of the World. The first thing I want to tackle here is the first ship transition, because in my opinion it's a little bit fast and unforgiving, and it kind of just throws you at it very quickly. And when it comes to the first UFO transition, if you do not know the physics of entering a portal very well, when you go upwards, you get flung out of it in an upwards motion, you will get thrown off here, as your instinct will be to click the button or click your mouse key so that you go up to not hit the saw. But if you do this in this portal, you will double jump and you will hit the wall instead. And this can throw off a lot of first time players. When it comes to the first green dash orb, if you hit it way too early, you will die to the invisible saw, forcing you to time it late, which isn't the case for any other orbs in this level at all. If you're forced to time it, it will throw a lot of people off guard, as it's the only real timing in the entire level. And timing is something that you have a lot of time to see. It can easily throw you in a confused state where you're going to be like, I did not expect. But other than that, this level is fairly difficult all the way through. It has arrows showing you when to jump in the right way, and it shows you where to go in the fast transitions. If you think, for example, the wave at the drop, there are a lot of arrows pointing you downwards, making you not click anything when you're going into that transition, which I think is very, very good. At the very fast part, there's only one thing I want to comment about, and that is the jump, where it tells you to jump because the speed is going so fast, and you have to click that as early as you possibly can. You do not have any breathing room for it, meaning you can't really delay your tap at all. This, in my opinion, should not be there. I think it should be a jump pad instead, so that it's way more fair and you don't die there because you simply didn't have enough time to react to it. But other than that, Master of the World, in my opinion, is probably the best level out of the 3 we played today. It's the most fair, it's the most fun, and it's just happy. It's a happy song, it's great. So overall, what do I think of these levels? I think the levels are generally very well balanced in difficulty. No parts really stood out as much harder than the rest. The only parts I would say were kinda out of place were the first cube in Recollection, as well as the end of Baby Y. The levels treat the players very fairly and didn't throw very many quick surprises in your way. The only parts that really did this were the green orb in the robot in Baby Y, the quick ship transition, and the duel at the end in the same level, as well as the jump in Master of the World, where you got the notice to jump. Otherwise, these levels were all generally very fun to play and overall great in terms of gameplay, so I think Viprin should definitely have some credit for it. But I do want him to fix these couple things.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I put a lot of effort into it. If you're new to the channel, I would really appreciate it if you did click the subscribe button so you can check out my other content. I do not only post stuff like this, I also do commentary videos over the game in general. So I would very much appreciate it if you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, all that stuff. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace out.